Okay. Have you ever felt like, even though you had people to hang out with and you weren't being excluded or anything, you didn't have really good friends, or you had to work hard enough to fit in with your friend group? Because that is exactly how I felt in high school. I was not, and it could have been a lot worse. I'm not complaining. Like, there are people who are bullied and excluded, but that didn't happen to me. So I was very lucky. But I didn't have any, like, really great friends. And another thing that provides background to this, I've always been Mennonite. I grew up Mennonite. I didn't grow up in the Mennonite area, though. So, and my church is super small. There's like there were like two other kids who were even close to me in age. So when I was a junior in high school, I decided, hey, I think I'll go hang out with some Mennonite youth groups that were like in my area, but not my church. And so I went to Grace Mennonite Church, which is in Pandora, Ohio. And our first event was making salsa, that's the kitchen. That's not the year I went. That's a year earlier, but that's where we were. Making salsa to raise money to go to Mennonite Convention in Phoenix, Arizona in 2013. And so I walked down into the basement, because the kitchen is in the basement. After church, I drove from my own church to here. And I walk in, there's nobody I know, and they're just all busy already, because I kind of came late from church. And as we started to make salsa, everyone was just so friendly, and including me and everything, and like, the process that we're working on in this picture is you kind of reach your hands into the hot water where these tomatoes are sitting, you pull them out, and you pull the skin off. And it's kind of hot water, so, you're waiting for it to not be boiling anymore, because the tomatoes were boiled. And I could usually get the tomatoes before anyone else, which has nothing to do with talent. I just happen to have high tolerance for hot water. But everyone was like, hey, you're so good at this. You can get the tomatoes before anyone else. And it was such a minor thing. But people in my friend group didn't really compliment each other. Like, you were trying to be good enough that you didn't get put down. So for people to notice something so incredibly insignificant and like compliment me on it, I mean, I was like blushing, like, thanks guys. And just things like that. And at a certain point I like burned myself on one of the pots because I guess I wasn't being careful enough. And everyone was like super concerned, like, oh my goodness, are you okay? It's like, yeah guys, I'm fine. But everyone was, and wanted to hear about me, and these were people who didn't know me, and it was just such a different experience from how the world of social interaction in high school. And I continued to, so I came back, and not only did I come back, I ended up going to Phoenix with them. This is us in Phoenix, as you can tell by the, like, palm tree thing there. And I also started hanging out with another youth group that was in the area, so both of them. But it was really great, because suddenly I had a community that was supportive of me. And it really changed my idea of what community could be and what friends could be, and that it didn't have to be a competition to be good enough. This really impacted my life, especially because I was a junior in high school. I was starting to think about my college search. And I guess that Mennonite colleges have kind of been on my radar, like a little bit, because of my family and stuff, but I hadn't really thought about it very much because I'd never really hung out around people my own age who were Mennonite, so like it was sort of an abstract theological concept, being a Mennonite. This experience with the youth group, like having people be so nice to me, really changed it. I mean, it's still my faith is still the most important part of being a Mennonite and that identity, but it added this community dimension that was like, yeah, I want to go, if this is what a youth group is like in high school, then I definitely want to see what this could play out like in a college setting. So it really influenced, I think, my choice of college and why I'm here.